How are we doing on this fine Monday? They couldn't have had the game Tuesday, huh? We got to play on a Monday. Oh boy. So I'm here. I am here. There's going to be a lot of sniffling. There's going to be all sorts of coughing, but I am here. So, yesterday, unfortunately, I know I said I was going to be live. I was literally dead instead of live. I fell asleep yesterday afternoon, and I did not wake up until about basically when Donna got home from work at like 11, and then pretty much went right back to sleep. So, but I did see the Lightning and the Bruins. So of course, you know, Bruins got a point, come back from the Lightning, puts us in just in a position of 9 points out with 2 games in hand. Um, we're 8 points out of the Sabres tonight. And if you don't win this game tonight in regulation, it starts to get real. It starts to get real, right? How we doing, guys? Bucks, good to see you. Colin, Marchand and Lundell remain out, but could return this week, right? Bubba's a net. Yeah, Gadjevich. I like Gadjevich, but I'm not really sure. I mean, he's obviously still fits. Um, I guess instead of Cunnin, right? But then you kind of need Cunnin for face-offs. Yeah, NHL must win tonight. Otherwise, our chances drop significantly to like 10 to 15%, right? Yeah, Bucks. I would have loved to have been streaming that game. My intent was to fall asleep and wake up about 5 o'clock and get moving. And I just keep getting worse. Whatever virus this is, I just keep getting worse. So, but I got 3 games in 4 nights before the break. So we just got these out and then probably oh God, the Super Bowl's this weekend. I gotta get better by Sunday. Jeez, I just remembered. Some Bolts fan left early. It was 5. Yeah, they thought it was over. Yep. Hungry says, I find it funny now that the Knights are in first place in the Pacific. People are bitching about the overtime point. They're fourth in wins in their division, have 14 overtime losses. I know. Hey, Metal, definitely not to better today. That's for sure. Trent says, hey, Joe, I was talking with my friends. He's really close to the Panthers, and he thinks we'll be making a trade. I honestly hope we don't, for all the reasons I've mentioned. Oh, hey, Kazuma. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's a smoother version, right? Yeah, I hear what you're saying there. I always like Simply Red. Buck says, guess Bob's not playing Boston or Tampa. Well, he'll play one of them, yeah. 6 more weeks of winter. You don't need to tell me, Craig. It's up to 29 today. It's windy outside. Hey, Michael, David, how we doing? Trent. Well, I'm not ready to say that yet, Trent, but if we don't win these 3 games, I might get you there. Florida says we'll see you guys next year. Yeah. No thanks to Panarin. Hey, Goat Slayer, hope you're taking Ricolas for the sore throat. Best lozenge I found outside of Fisherman's Friend. You're still getting his signature on Saturday? Oh, man. Nice. Very cool. Hey, if Bobrovsky is going to be signing stuff, somebody print out a picture of the Bubba puppet. Somebody print out a picture of the Bubba puppet and get him to sign it. If you can, I'll pay. Kenneth says traditionalists hate the idea of every game being worth 3 points. I know it messes with the past stats, but 3 points of regulation with 2 points of overtime win, 1 point overtime loss. Regulations loss just makes sense. Yeah, the 3-2-1. I mean, yeah, it would completely change the record book and all of that. But once you get past that, see 3 for regulation win, 2 points for an overtime win, and 1 point for an overtime loss. So, well, I guess the difference being the 3 points for the regulation win. Yeah. David says, did the NHL hire a lot of new refs this year? Some truly horrific officiating in the Bolts game and our game a couple games ago, as bad as I've ever seen in hockey. I didn't obviously see last night, but I've heard people being complaining about it. That's for sure. Craig says there's like 56 points available for the rest of the season, so 40 or more are needed. Yeah, I mean, what are we at? We're at, that would be 99 points. I mean, 100 points you might need to get 100 points to get in. None of these teams will lose. Like, it's almost slip sliding away. I agree, Shines. It says, not that my opinion matters, but I say if you can't play before the break, you don't play in the Olympics. I completely agree. Bucks, you think the Goons will be out? Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Tampa's got nothing to lose by it. You guys are set. We've blown, I don't know if we blow, didn't we blow a 4-goal lead at some point? Not this year, but last year, the year before. Hey, Bling Bling. Real says that game last night was the worst outcome besides Boston winning in overtime. Not sure which is worse, losing 5-1 in the outdoors or choking a 5-1 lead like Boston did. Yeah, I gotta watch the low quality video on that. Didn't come up in my feed. Hungry. Is it Lion Hungry off the top of my head? Because I think we've looked at that a few times. Yeah, it's right there. I think we've looked at that a couple of times. I think Alex Lyon, right? No, I'm wrong there. I mean, there's a long. I mean, I know Cooper Black, Vanacek, Skinner. Who are you, Mrazek? Who are you thinking? Hungry. Who are you thinking? David, do we believe the best teams are somehow missing the playoffs? Well, not necessarily. I mean, so like Vegas being 25, 16, and 14. I mean, it's wild that they have 14 overtime losses. But, those are the rules. I'm a big believer in teams play by the rules. And that's the results they go and get. Like, I don't, not that I disagree or agree with the 3-2-1, but I do feel like there's a certain part there where, like, we can't draw a conclusion that says such and such a team would have such and such amount of points if the rules were different, because then they might have been playing differently if the rules were different, which is kind of the argument some people make for wanting to have the 3-2-1. So if some of these teams, like the Panthers right now, right? If regulation was 3 points, maybe you're busting your ass a little bit more to try to get those regulation wins versus saying, well, let's get the point, get it safe, and get to overtime. So it can work kind of both ways. Yeah, Kazuma. I've never been one to understand the leaving early thing. Goat Slayer says Dangle's podcast crew are all in agreement the Leafs should blow up the team and rebuild around Matthews because it's too much of a loss if they can't offload if they all offload him. I think they should offload Matthews and take the hit. You don't rebuild around Matthews. Isn't he 30 at this point? How old is he? 28, 29, 30? What is he? 28. All right. So now whatever his injury issues have been, he's on pace for 40 goals this year probably. So yeah, I could understand that theory somewhat, but I guess the other part to that would be with the team that they already had built around him. Like if that wasn't going to do it, you know what I mean? I don't know. I might have said that about Barkov before Chucky and Maurice got here too. Appreciate that, Bling Bling. Sorry, I'm a little bit slow today, guys. I'm here. Hey, Anthony. Yeah, I agree with Goat saying build around Nyes and Nylander. Yeah. Anthony, I haven't heard that we're the top target. I don't, everything that I've read about Panarin has said he's not coming because we can't make it happen. I don't want him anyway. Honestly, if we're not going to make it, if we're not going to make the playoffs, just start resting guys now. Just put Marchand on LTIR, put Reinhardt on LTIR, put Forsling on LTIR. Just shut those guys down and let them start resting on a beach somewhere now. Let them go watch the Marlins at spring training. Like if we're not going to make it, just start resting now. I have no interest, none, in the negative interest in making any kind of trades that's going to kind of put a Band-Aid on this team so that maybe we can make the playoffs and win 2 games in round 1. You know what I mean? Like if it's something that's going to win us a cup, like if Toronto wanted to rebuild and they were going to send us, Matthews and Nyes for Samoskevich and Vilmanis, okay, I'll make that deal. But past something stupid like that ain't never going to happen. The signs aren't here, but it's still the same. 1 cup, 2 cups. We'll be all right. Now, I want to show something. You saw Boss fans whining about the refs. That's interesting. That's interesting. Why would I want to torture the guys by condemning them to watch Marlins baseball? Wait till Flying Fluffy baseball starts. God, I can't wait for it to warm up outside. Oh my God. Guys, we haven't been above freezing here in like 10 freaking days. And I'm talking about middle of the day. We haven't been 30 degrees in like 10 freaking days. It's still, nothing is melted, even a smidgen. It's still a freaking foot of solid brick ice outside, pissing me off. I need to go outside and get some sun. So I want to show a couple of things here that Hungry sent me. Get your guys' opinion on it. Let's see. So this is the first dude. This is on Twitter. Now, hey, wait, where the hell did it go? Here it is. Okay. This is on Twitter, so take it from where it comes, but it's so bad. This is from South Florida dude at Fire Manny Diaz. It's very sad to see. It's very sad to watch as a season ticket holder that the Panthers went from winning 2 Stanley Cups in a row to become a poverty franchise in less than 7 months, and our general manager, Bill Zito, sitting there not even trying to make a move. We've needed a third pair defenseman and a depth winger for 3 months now. Instead, we're rolling out guys that are not NHL ready whatsoever on our fourth line and backup defensemen who are unplayable. And then to get gaslighted the other night at the season ticket holder meeting that we have all these players in Charlotte. None of them are ready to play in the NHL. Meanwhile, there's a third pair defenseman somewhere in the NHL that we could have traded for to bolster our defense when Kulikov got hurt. The team isn't even being put in a position to defend back-to-back Stanley Cup championships since all the injuries took place. The only thing missing from the Puff Piece season ticket holder meeting the other night was waving a white flag. Oh, and a super shout out to Matthew Tkachuk for taking the extra 3 weeks to put his surgery off. He should have been back in early January. So, first of all, I'm ashamed that the dude is, he's a Canes fan. So, that sucks. Now, he has 2 likes and 87 responses to that. So, they at least took care of him. Meadow, now that's what I thought. Got to be a troll rage bait, but I don't think so. I think he's serious. It's just a damn shame. Yeah, or very delusional. Well, yeah, absolutely. And Hungry says, according to that guy, he's a 30-year fan. Let's see. Let me go to his page here and see. Yeah, no, he's serious. He's absolutely serious. Unless this guy is just not really even a Panthers fan. Like his so yeah, we won't give that too much more attention here. Now, the other thing here, and this is really the one that I wanted to get you guys' opinion on. This is also, hold on, hold on. What are you saying? Read Trent's comment. Hold on a second. Oh, he says, do I think we'll win another cup with our group, or are we going to be Tampa and losing the first round 3 years in a row? Well, I think there's a mixture of different circumstances there. I think you can draw a parallel between Stamkos and Bobrovsky, meaning that they had to make a decision with Stamkos because he was, in their minds, and probably rightfully so, at a point where they didn't want to keep him, and he was going to start, declining. And so they moved on from him, and it's taken a couple of years for them. It's taken a few years for them to get back to where they would want to be. But also, they did run into Florida at the height of things. So maybe Tampa being eliminated in the first round those years, maybe if they played somebody else, I mean, I know they lost to the Leafs the one time, but maybe they got a bit of a worse result than they deserved. Now, in terms of Florida, yeah, I don't see any reason why, if we come back healthy and rested next year, I don't see any reason why you got to fix the goaltending. And what I mean by that is, if you're going to re-sign Bob, that's fine. I got no problem with that. But you have to have a plan now for if Bob unless there's a miracle that happens and they make the playoffs and we go on a roll in the postseason, we're not going to know if this is Bob actually declining or just him having an off year like the rest of the team. We're not going to know that until next year. You have to be prepared for that to possibly be the case. So I'll sign him to a contract. I got no problem with that. But you now have to have a plan at backup. You have to have a guy that if Bob's not playing that well, that you have no problem playing. Is that hungry? Is Manny Diaz a politician? I thought Manny Diaz was a University of Miami football coach. I think that's who he's talking about. I think he was talking about Manny Diaz, the UM football coach. I've seen him on there in years past. Mythical says, I think with the cap increase next year, we're obviously going to need some load up on some extra talent because other teams will be doing the same. We can't fall behind. So my opinion is Barkov, Reinhardt for Hagee. And let me finish this. Next year, Barkov, Reinhardt for Hagee, Bennett, Kachuk, Samoskevich, Lundell, Lusterine, Marchand, and Rodriguez with Vilmanis and Greer. That's my plan going into next year. And then come trade deadline, if we feel we need to upgrade somewhere, let's look at that. If we get to a point at this point next year at the trade deadline and Samo's got 3 goals and you're at a point where, okay, maybe we might want to move on from him, then you start thinking about maybe trading him for somebody if he's not going to fill the role that we need. Optimally, he'd be the perfect guy to be next to Bennett and Kachuk long term if he can work on his game and stop losing the puck, right? So I say go ahead and start next season to give him another shot because we'll have plenty of money if we need to fix that spot later on. And the second part to that is Rodriguez is already on the team. He's already signed. Just let him be 4C. Just let him be 4C at the start of the season. And again, if there's an issue, we'll have plenty of cap space to be able to fix that. I think Vasilevsky probably is a lot healthier this year. Yeah. David says, whoever wrote that is probably here. LOL sounds a lot like many here. So much doom and gloom, completely ignoring injuries and looking to place blame. No, we just need to get healthy, David. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Real. If you're re-signing Bob, you need a guy who can be more of a tandem. Exactly. Florida Man says, losing to the Leafs was after the third run in Colorado, where guys were skating on sand and loaded with injuries. It takes time to retool and get healthy. Yeah, 100%. And then you end up losing to Florida the 2 years. But come on, man, nobody was beating Florida. You know what I mean? Like I think Tampa just ended up with a bad draw the last couple of years. And I think had Tampa gotten somebody else in the first round, it would have been Florida versus Tampa in the second round. And nobody would be saying that, Tampa just got lost in the first round all those years. Hey, Olechka. They are not South Florida. If Stolarz is healthy, there was also a Manny Diaz politician, might be the same guy. So I want to show you this other thing. Well, hold on. I got too many questions. I'll try to get to it. Go say is Gadjo Greer with Rod with Vilmanis first man off the scratch list. I don't know. I don't know, go. I like Gadjevich, but I think Gadjo needs to be the first man off the scratch list. I like Gadjo, um, but to me, Vilmanis has way more potential. Craig says, Jaws, what do you think of the Lightning copying our homework? Had Cooper coming out as a Rocky gangster like Barkov and Kachuk, and then they initiated a goalie fight right after us. If you're going to do it and you pull it off and win the game, you pull it off, right? You know, um, you know, uh, it's crazy that they were down 5-1 the same way we lost that game. That's wild stuff. But in the end, I got to give them credit where credit is due. They're taking the villain crown. Sure, we took it from them, right? And I mean, if you're those guys, why wouldn't you try to emulate what we were doing? Nobody else in the NHL, when the Panthers were healthy the last 2 years, nobody could beat us. So I'm sure Tampa's looking at it like they have the personnel this year to pull off what Florida did the last 2 years. And they got guys that have already won. So they got to be feeling pretty good. Yeah, he was dressed up like Scarface. Frozen Duckling says, I noticed nobody on the Panthers wants to block shots anymore. Remember, they used to try and block every shot that they would screen Bob. Yeah, I'm blocking them shots hurts, like an old Cuban gangster. That's great. So I want to show you guys this other thing that Hungary sent me, and I want to get your opinion. Let's see. Where is it? Where the heck is it? Oh, here it is. So I guess they had this thing here yesterday where the NHL ended up donating $200,000 to this cancer survivor, but I guess the deal was that he would have got $1 million, but he missed the shot, like one of those, get the shot in the whole thing for the fans, and then they ended up only giving him $200,000. And the comments, I mean, even producer Drew's like, give them the 1 million for fuck's sake. What's this? Like the comments just absolutely just completely obliterating the NHL. Like, just I haven't seen anybody saying that, way to go for giving them $200,000. Everybody's just pissed that they should have just given them the $1 million. I'm curious what you guys have to say about that. Jake, that was bullcrap. Yeah, man. Like, I think most people thought that after he missed, they would have been like, but you know what? We'll give you the $1 million anyway. Like, honestly, I kind of almost like, if I'm the dude, like, and I missed the shot. I mean, yeah, you missed the shot. Okay. But like, if they're doing a PR thing, I kind of would have almost low key expected them to be like, you know what? We'll give you $1 million anyway. Like, it's kind of a weird following. Craig says Tampa isn't getting the same heat though we do. Well, yeah. But they haven't won in a few years, right? And remember, we just beat Edmonton 2 years in a row, right? So it's a lot more fresh in their minds. David says the only reason anyone has a chance this year is because the Cats are hurt. Hope the Bolts and the rest of the NHL enjoy our misfortune because once we're healthy again, it's over for them. I like David's attitude. Yeah. Man, it was an awkward moment for sure, right? Yeah, exactly. Why even make him take the shot? Exactly, Craig. Rich people companies have no idea of optics. Yeah, Metal, exactly. Goat Slayer says this is definitely the most injury bug season of any team I've ever been alive to see. So many starters have been out at all at once that this literally not the same team that's on the payroll. The closest thing I've ever seen to this was the year that Marino got hurt and the Achilles, because Scott Mitchell comes in and he's leading the offense, and we were like 9-2. And then I believe he got hurt again. And then we ended up with like 37-year-old, or how old was Steve DeBerg? Who remembers that? Like, it was very much a similar situation, although obviously the Dolphins hadn't won. But it was just so obvious that no matter what they did, no, you won't get up. You know what I mean? Kenneth says, as long as the million does count against the cap, give it to him, right? Birdsong says it would be funny if the Oilers don't make the finals because they traded Skinner. Jari isn't working out, and they just waived Picard. Like, I don't know what they were thinking when they made that trade. I think most people kind of felt like Jari and Skinner were like almost mirror images of each other. Like, I've never understood. Oh, I didn't understand why Dubas gave Jari that big contract. Real says, I saw Boston fans complaining about Hagel, and Hagel is the one who hit Swayman, which caused the goalie fight. Yeah, I don't know what happened on that play. I watched it, and I seen somebody saying that Hagel should get suspended for that. I was a little bit confused. Florida Man says, the check thing reminded me of that scene in Succession where the Roman offers the kid $1 million if he hits a home run. He comes close, and the Roman ripped the check up. Oh, God. Hungry says, collective memory is a fickle thing. It wasn't all that long ago that Tampa was dirty and Boston was getting help by Campbell. It's all cyclical depending on who's winning. All I know is that I'm kind of torn because I know the experience that a lot of you guys have with the Lightning fans. That's not been my experience, right? Before we got good, like 20% of the subscribers were Lightning fans here. So I don't have the same experience. The point being is that if the Panthers aren't in, it's not like I'm going to go buy a Tampa Bay Lightning flag or something like that. But to be honest with you, if the Panthers aren't in, and then it pissed off the rest of the league that a Florida team still won the cup, I ain't going to cry about it. That's number one. Number two, if they do win and Cooch takes his shirt off again, it gives me an opportunity for another video. So there's that. Craig says, I saw Bruins fan trying to claim they never supported Marchand's antics while he was there. Oh, that's baloney sandwiches. That's baloney. Yeah, Vasi, there was a good fight last night, and then they laughed about it afterwards. I don't think we want to see a Bob versus Vasi fight. No, we're good. We're good with that. Now, we'll pass on that, Bucks. So Stock Guy says, if Florida misses the playoffs, I hope one of Colorado, Dallas, or Minnesota wins the cup. Definitely not Tampa, Carolina, Edmonton, Vegas. Oh, Young Cliff says McDavid demanded that Skinner be traded. Oh, congratulations, you played yourself. Jeez. He should have been a little bit more specific, like who they going to trade him for. Aleshka, you're I'm laughing. Kenneth says, if the Panthers let Bob walk, does Montreal grab him for a year? Don't even speak that. Don't even put that bad. No, that's bad. That is bad juju. We don't say that around here. Oh, David, yeah, the Super Bowl. That's right. On a 1 to 10, how cooked are we? I mean, maybe 5 right now. 5. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. If we win all 3 of these games, there's still a chance. Right? Right. Oh, absolutely, Goat Slayer. If we're out, we bandwagon the Sharks. Yeah. Young Cliff says Lightning, Canes, Habs, and Bruins fans became a lot nastier to us this year before they all laughed at Leafs conspiracies. Trent says we would be little brother again. I don't know. David. Yeah, Bob versus Vasi fighting. They might get in trouble with their countrymen, though. Hungry says Oilers fans are memeing so hard about Bowman and their execs being in the Epstein docs. I don't know if it's real or not. God, I haven't even seen any of that stuff, luckily for me. Olechka says 100% cooked. Not yet. We're going to win tonight, damn it. 6-2. And then we're going to beat Boston 5-1. And then we'll get a point against Tampa. 8-7. It'll be 8-7 with 345 penalty minutes. We're almost as cooked as E2's foot after he stepped on the George Foreman grill cooking his bacon. I have bacon for my dinner tonight, too. Ghost Slayer says, I'd say we're medium rare, still bleeding a bit. Stock Guy says, we just need to stay in the hunt. It's likely one of Boston, Buffalo, Montreal will fall off at least a little bit, and we need to keep it close. These games are important, though, too. Like, what are we, 8 and then 9 points out? Is that what we are? We're 9 points out of the Bruins and 6 points out of the Sabres. Is that 6? No, that's 8, Jaws. If we win tonight against the Sabres, we'll be 6 points out. Okay. When do we play the Sabres again? So we play them now. Oh, we play them the second game. God damn it. We come back from the Olympic break and we play the Leafs. And then on the second end of a back-to-back, we play the Sabres. So that's it. You got Sabres, Bruins, Lightning. Then we come back from the break with a back-to-back against the Leafs and Sabres. Those 2 games against the Sabres, you have to win them in regulation. That's it. Nobody's back, Alechka. Nobody. Yeah. I know Columbus is ahead of us right now. I know I heard that, Alechka. It says, why is he saying the players need to get away from him? Yeah, it's a little bit concerning him saying that, considering when he left Winnipeg, he said the guys needed a new voice, right? Honestly, I mean, Maurice is in kind of a predicament. Like, if he knows that the team is just exhausted and cooked, what's he supposed to say to them other than just give me the best effort you can? Right? Like, I know it's frustrating for us as fans, but regardless of how we feel they played in the first period of the games or any of that, we were still this close to 4 points out of those 2 games. And we just blew it at the end, which I'm not making excuses, but it's not like we're getting blown out 5-1. So we'll see what happens tonight, though, right? Vegas odds are favoring the Cats tonight. That's interesting. Huh. I know Ottawa's tied for us. There you go. We're closing the gap tonight, damn it. Hey, Dietrich. Oh, that's okay. I still got the comment. Time for Keith to call out. Oh boy. So after the break, we expect to get, I would assume, Lundell, Marchand, and Jones. Gadjevich too. Gadjevich as well. I think those are the 4 guys we could see back. Goat Slayer says the Leafs will probably have made some trades by the time the Cats play them, make those tickets cheap, and give the Cats an easy W. Yeah, that too, Hungry. The 2 years of a condensed schedule. And we haven't even had it the worst. No, it is. It is, David. Look, I mean, we played. Let's just see. As an example, Sam Reinhart, right? Like in the 3 years, let's see. 21, 24, and 21. So that's 66 extra games in the last 3 years. So it's almost a full extra season. And it's usually the most physical part of the year as well. I mean, there's a reason why nobody's gotten to 4 straight in decades, right? Dietrich, yeah, I mean, that would help if we could stay in the hunt. There you go. You still have faith. I'm not out yet. David says if we were healthy, we could overcome the amount of games, maybe. The other thing to look at is because, okay, so now we're chasing, like it changes who we're chasing, obviously. But the Sabres, looking at their schedule when they come back from. So the Sabres, when they come back from the break, they've got the Devils, they've got the Panthers, Lightning. What a jip, although it could help. So we play the Sabres on the 27th, and the Panthers will be on the second end of a back-to-back. The next night, the Lightning play the Sabres, so the Sabres will be on the second end of a back-to-back. So if we can win the games there might be something there for us. After that, then it's the Knights, Penguins, Preds, Lightning, Sharks, Caps, Leafs, Knights, Sharks, Kings, Ducks, Bruins. So they come back from the break and they are playing, with the exception of Toronto, the Sabres come back from the break and they're mostly playing teams that are in a spot or dying to fight for a spot. You're going to watch some. Yeah, that's a gauntlet. No doubt. No doubt. The Sabres have their work cut out for them for Buffalo. Yeah, when they come back. Kenny says it's a full extra season. He came from Buffalo where the seasons were much shorter. Ain't that the truth? Wonder where we would be right now with Barkov. I mean, even if we were 3 games better, we'd be in a playoff spot for the most part. Hungry says the breaking point for me will be what the roster looks like after the break, but you're going to watch some female curling in the meantime. That's where I am with David. I'll also believe until we are eliminated, because if we somehow, some way sneak in and we get healthy, we're a problem. Alechka says, I'm honestly more concerned about Maurice's comments and body language. Nothing tells me he sees a light at the end of the tunnel. He knows we're cooked. And, I mean, can you really blame him, right? I mean, he has kind of looked like that all year, but it starts to look good. You get Chucky back. You get Marchand back. We start to look like ourselves again. And then, boom, Marchand's hurt again, and Lundell is out. Like, at some point, you get tired of the gut punches, and I understand. David says the Salted Cats have an easier schedule left than Boston or Buffalo. We have like the 12th toughest. They have like the 6th and 8th. Michael, I listened to some of the clips on Wingman. I listened to some of the clips. Sometimes the it gets a little bit. I mean, I like it. In the first few podcast clips I saw kind of turned me off a little bit, and I wasn't like rushing to do it because I saw like 2 or 3 shorts where they're talking about when Brady had a hurt and he was how Brady had to wipe himself and some other bathroom humor that I was like, I'm trying to sit there and eat my lunch while watching some content. I don't need to hear Brady Kachuk talk about how he was wiping himself. It's like, come on, guys. I want to be able to eat while I'm watching my videos. Dietrich Swayman is a punk. I appreciate that, Dietrich. I wish I could get one of those guys on, but we'll see. Maybe by year 20, right? I'm just old. I mean, that's true. No, I mean, I get it. I don't know, man. It's just like it rubbed me the wrong way. But I get it. I forget how young they are. You know what I mean? I get it. I guess the thing for me was like, did they really need to clip that and make it the short? You know what I mean? Like it was like the 2nd or 3rd short that I saw. And I was like, come on, guys. Like, tell me some good stories. All right, David. Appreciate that, man. Florida says Hagel went for the puck after the whistle and Swayman snapped. Yeah, I didn't think. I mean, maybe I'd have to watch it again. But I just thought Hagel was just doing what normal players would do, trying to stick his stick in there to get the puck loose. The episode they did with the guy from Miracle on Ice was really good. All right, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, Swayman. Well, I've never been a big fan of Swayman anyway. Someone said Brady forgot the first letters of his ABCs. Oh, his throat is killing me. The thing about it, the Wingman podcast, I still haven't had it come up in my feed. I get the shorts or the clips, like when they make a little like 4 or 5 minute clip. That's what's come up. I have yet to have the actual full podcast come up on my clip in my feed. Yeah, Swayman. Yeah, Swayman is perfect for Boston. He's perfect for Boston. I thought that was great, though, that Vasilevsky did that. And good on the refs for letting him go. Right? You call Swayman diapers and Cooper tissues. I mean, that could be, honestly, that could be the playoff series. It could be Boston and Tampa this year. It very easily could be those two teams. Because the Hurricane, it's going to be obviously between the Hurricanes and the Lightning for the top seed. The Wings have lost 3 straight. Hey, are we sure the Wings aren't going to tank? We're so busy looking at Boston and Buffalo and Montreal. Like, are we sure the Wings aren't going to tank? They've lost 3 straight. They play the Avalanche again today, and then they play the Mammoth, and then when they come back from the break, they got the Sens, Hurricanes, Preds, Knights, Panthers, Devils, Panthers, Lightning, Stars, Flames, Montreal, Boston, Ottawa. They have Ottawa enough time. Schedule's okay. Nothing brutal. Now, the Red Wings, that's another interesting thing that, because I'm sitting here saying, are we sure that the Wings aren't going to tank? The last game of the year, the Red Wings play Tampa, and then the last game of the year is the Panthers playing the Red Wings. So if the Wings decided to like, we played them a couple of times, including the last game of the year. Never know. But I mean, we still got to be healthy, right? Like we can't, like, I want to win the cup, but I don't want to make the playoffs with Schwint, Greer, and Vilmanis as our third line. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we might get obliterated if we put that out there as our third line. Vilmanis looks like he's going to be something, but Goat says Habs, Sabres, and Bruins are the ones you think are shaky. I'm not sure. Yeah, that game could decide who Tampa gets round 1. Possible. Florida man says Swayman let us back in after that fight, then a delay a game right after. Boston fans can cry that their goalie got shook. I wish I would have been awake, man. Like I said, I fell asleep at like 3, and I just thought, normally when I take an afternoon nap, I take 90 minutes, I wake up, I'm good. I thought I'd sleep this off. Instead, I woke up worse, had a friggin' fever. So, unfortunately, that sucks too, because I would have had a good time doing that game. Pissed me off. I woke up when Dawn got home. She got home at 10 after 11. And I was all out of it. I'm like, what happened? I woke up. I was all messed up. I didn't know what day it was, what time it was, I didn't know nothing. I was all out of sorts. Real says, we're not winning the cup with a bottom pair of Petrie and Bournefoot. Sorry if that upsets anybody. Well, I guess it depends, Real. Right? I mean, if we trade Samoskevich for Nylander and Nyes, they'll probably throw OEL in too at the same time. Why not? Sure. We'll be okay. Like I said, if they don't win these games, that I would love, not what I would love to see it, but if we do end up at a point where it's just not happening, we're 10, 12, 14 points out. Like if it gets to that point, I hope that they're smart enough to just start shutting guys down. And when do we know, like, what's the limit? When does Marchand have to tell Canada? And when would they have to tell Bennett? Because I'm going to assume that even if Marchand is out for the Olympics, I bet you that they pick Bennett to take his spot. I know it's Cooper, and I'd love it to not be Bennett, but I just don't understand. Like if Marchand's got this recurring injury, like you shouldn't be going to the Olympics. Like, the same thing with Lundell, although I guess they're day to day any day now, but that's it. Schlepp Yandel back into the lineup. I'm pretty sure my hips can swivel better than Yandel, and I can't even ice skate backwards. Young Cliff says the Leafs are worried about OEL's age since they're going to have to rebuild. OEL would definitely be a good deadline pickup for a team trying to win, no doubt. You can play him anywhere. He can run the power play for you. Solid depth. If somebody gets hurt, he would be a good pickup for somebody that has some extra little bit of space. But how we get to Yager? Oh my God. Yager's my age. I think he's literally my age. Would I trade for OEL? Not really. I don't want to give up anybody. You know what I mean? I don't want to give up anybody that we want to be on this team next year. Jovo, suit up. Vincent, I hope so. Maurice is saying we might get one of them back this week. You know what that means. Like Maurice saying we might get one of them back this week. Nobody should be surprised if we come back from the break and one of them still isn't ready yet. You know what I mean? Like, what Maurice says just has no bearing on reality in terms of how long guys are going to be out. Goat says, I commented on a post Yager made yesterday on his Instagram that I should come back and take us to the Cup. Poor Jovo couldn't skate when he came back, man. That dude, he gave it his all. I remember he had that hip surgery that was kind of still just learning how to do. Who do I think goes to Tampa at the deadline? I don't know. I don't know how much space they have. We've looked at this before. What do they have? I don't know what this. Did Hedman come back? Yeah. So right now they'd have to send out money. Right now they don't have any cap space. Why is it saying their projected playoff cap space is $12 million? That don't make any sense. And the other question is, what do they really need? Right? I mean, do you even need to upgrade on the bottom on defense? Vincent says he's such a liar. Jake says Yager's been playing in the league where a guy who hit him clean open ice and his own team got mad at him. Right? I think he's my age. Let's see. Yager is born in 72. He's born in February of 72, February 15th. So I'm 50. So he's going to be 54 on the 15th. He's gonna be 54. So yeah. Might be past his prime. No point, no Hedman. I see. I got you. what goalies are available for us. Like, where's the, I got it up here. The free agent goalie list is not there. There's nothing on it that makes us say, let's get rid of Bobrovsky or even Tarasov, honestly. There's nobody on it because they signed Vladar, right? Vladar's not on this list anymore. I mean, I'm looking at it, and there's just nobody on this list that makes you say, go ahead and do anything other than sign Bob and Tarasov. I mean, in terms of the salaries, if you go from high to low, Price, Bobrovsky, Mrazek, Fedotov, Anderson, Skinner, Talbot, Nedeljkovic, Connor Ingram, Kosa, Jonathan Quick, Vanacek, Urson, Kakinen, Tarasov, Miralainen, Pickard, Matt Murray, David Reddick. Like there's just nobody that's a free agent this year in goaltending that's going to be, I think it's Bob tonight. Hey, Norman. It does make sense. So here's the thing, Norman. The last game we lost 2-1, right? There's 3:45 left. We got an offensive zone draw. We're desperate to get a goal because we're desperate for points. The line Maurice throws out there is Cole Schwint with AJ Greer and Sanders Vilmanis. Like, we don't have any players left. We don't have any players left. Reinhardt played like 27 minutes the other night. They're all exhausted. It's just, unfortunately, just like when we look at the roster, the guys we're putting on the ice every night, sometimes it makes sense that we're losing, especially since we can't score more than one goal so many damn times. It's just frustrating. Dietrich, yeah, and they were on. No, that was before the PK, Dietrich. That was before the penalty. That was before. That was there was 3:45 left. I remember we're streaming it, and I'm just like, look at who Schwint is taking the draw. We're like desperate for a goal, and then the puck ended up out of the zone. Ekblad did the tomahawk chop. And then that's when we ended up on the kill. So it is what it is, guys. All right. I'm gonna roll. That's it for my voice. I'm gonna go back to sleep. I'll be there tonight. Don't worry about it. Members stream starts at 6:15. The game's at 7 tonight, right? The game's at 7 tonight. Yeah. So I'll be there. The member stream will be there at 6:15. I'll set an alarm this time. Make sure I'm up because Donna's going to work too. So she ain't going to be here to wake me up. So we'll set an alarm. I'll be there at 6:15. And Kyle. And yeah, this is it. This is these 3 games. I mean, this is it. These 3, this is the whole season right here. If you win, you still can have a discussion. If we lose, exactly. Yep. Yeah. Face off 7:05. Yep. All right, everybody. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I'll see you guys in about 5 hours.